Oh, really? On Courts?
Right across that, across 4th Street.
I'm filming a live event at the library,
That's a really
which is
nice place
the
to
drop-in
be.
tour of the library tours.
Yeah, dude, I wanted to live down there.
Tour the library and discover its wonders. So our docent today is
Because I'm retired.
Tom.
Exactly. Hi, it's Tom Duncanson. I will be conducting the tour this morning. And are you looking for a little tour here?
Yes.
And there are other
Tara.
students too, and
Tom Duncanson. And
people who are going to participate at the tour.
Francis.
Hello,
will
nice
be,
to meet you.
Joining us, and we'll ask. I think if anybody here objects to having a video made of this, they're entitled to have that privacy.
Yes.
So I will ask you to not do that anymore. So, are you okay with this?
It's fine.
Okay. Francis is a student at the university and has an assignment to make a live. Film a live event of some sort.
Oh, that's fun.
So, right.
Very creative.
And so he's doing that with his computer.
Well, and you
That's
just
okay
point the
with you.
computer and that's how it goes, huh?
Well, it's-
Yeah.
it's,
Technology, huh?
And actually it goes straight
That's how sometimes criminals are found
To
out.
wherever.
Yeah.
Wow.
YouTube.
So if
Yeah,
you're
we
teaching a class, you can actually have that
possibly. I hope
live.
you're-
Completely.
That's why I was asking.
Right,
It's
huh?
okay if
No, that's
Yeah.
fine.
I'm behind in time.
No, YouTube has been.
So if someone doesn't want to be in it, you tell me and I will avoid it.
That's fine.
Pixel out the
Yes,
face, right?
and pixel out the face.
Yeah.
Wow.
There were 6 names on the sign-up book, so I want to do.
Mine is not.
Okay, so I have roughly half the people that had signed up, but very often we have people sign up and forget or have other things to do. So I think I will start an orientation here a little bit and go into history like many tours do. There's been a library on this corner since 1903. It was a Carnegie library, and it was used first as a library for the city of San Jose until it was outgrown. They could not handle the facility. It was not big enough, so they moved it to another location, the most recent city library before this one is also called Dr. Martin Luther King Library, and it's located on the campus, if you will, of the Convention Center, which is on San Carlos, and it's basically every 20-25 years up to now, the city has grown out of whatever space they were in. So it was in the late 80s, early 1990s, that the city mayor and the president of the university they got together from time to time about various things, and both of them were interested in having a complete new library. And they basically thought that they could help each other by combining their resources, and that's what we have today. Opened in August of 2003. So the building is not as new as it used to be, but it's still pretty new.
Was there a reason they called it? They named it after that?
Same reason as lots of other facilities are named after. There isn't anything specific that Dr. Martin Luther King gave a speech here or anything like that that I'm aware of, but just recognizing the multicultural aspects of our society.
That's fantastic.
So I did want to show you a picture. The university has been here since 1870, and it started as a normal school in San Francisco. Normal school being teacher school. It was a private thing in 1857, and it started in San Francisco. And back then, and probably even now, it was a little rougher environment than San Jose has. So the young women teachers, the teachers in training, the management felt it was better to move further away from San Francisco and the bawdy times that they might have there. So in 1857 they moved to San Jose, and this is the first building on campus, and they called it Washington square, which is what we still call the main building of the university at the Tower Hall at Washington Square. Obviously, things burned down, and eventually, I'm going to show one picture. This was the library. This is the Carnegie Library that was built on this corner in 1903 for the city of San Jose. It had nothing to do with the university at that time. It was just nearby. But the university grew, and eventually built this library on this corner. I can give you these, if later we can get a better picture if you want, Francis. So,
Okay.
one thing I would like to point out before we leave this spot, and it doesn't look like anybody else who's joining us, is that you see a lot of people coming from the city, and this is a main corridor, if you will, from the city into the university. And so the building is physically right at the edge of the campus and provides a conduit for information and collaboration from the city with the university back and forth. So we're mainly on this tour going to talk about art work, art installations, and some of you may not feel are very artistic, but you have to kind of accept that there are 33 installations. We're not going to be able to see them all. The funding for them did not come from the state. It's a city rule, was a city rule when this building was being built, that 2% of city funds that go into projects, facilities, needed to be spent on public art. And they decided to hire a consultant, a super artist, if you will, by the name of Mel Chen. He happens to live in North Carolina, but he's had several major works like this. Mel Chen is a collaborative artist, and he's a conceptual artist. So basically it says that he doesn't do a lot of the work himself, and many of the subjects are conceptual. They're not like sculptures of people or something like that. There's ideas that he's trying to not only convey, but also as generations go on, we think about things. Some of them are very superficial puns, if you will. Some of them are pretty darn deep, and you have to think, and you hopefully will think over many years. Whenever you see that thing, will remind you about something that is important, that Mel felt was important. Mel had many public meetings to find out what people, both university people and city people, felt about art and about libraries. And so what you see, that's part of the collaboration, is to get ideas from people and then to work with other artists to actually implement some of those ideas. So one of those ideas is a artwork called Through and Through. So many of the titles of his art are thought-provoking in themselves. But he's got a art piece called Through and Through, and it's this column is a tree, right? So there's typically, depending on what floor you're on, there's about 8 or 10 columns. And this is in fact, if we move, we will see it.
Okay.
I just wanted to point out there were 2 major redwood trees that were on this property, this plot, that had to be destroyed.
They were huge.
I wish they had a picture for me to see them. And rather than just destroying them, one of the trees they took to someplace on the East Coast. I don't know exactly why they had to go there, but saw it up in pieces to be able to kind of wrap one of the columns in the building as a reminder to some degree of the fact that some life has been shed for this building, and to have it continue to live in the new building.
So is this called the Through and Through?
Through and Through is the name of the art piece,
okay,
because it goes through all the floors.
Okay. Wow, interesting. So you think that's the combination of both trees that people hired?